Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to yet another Ask Engineer. We're here every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's what time it is now, and that's why we're here. Broadcasting live from the Adafruit factory. That's what you see behind me. It's on a green screen. It's a real electronics factory here in Soho, New York City, where we do all the design, testing, manufacturing, supporting, coding, hacking, soldering, extruding, shipping of the goodies that you love to use in your projects. And at work, maybe even. I'm Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada. Got an exciting show tonight with all the latest news and giveaways and products and videos and tutorials. Can't wait to do this thing. Mr. Lady Ada, would you tell them, please, what's on tonight's show?
There's lots of things on tonight's show, but the most important thing you're probably looking forward to is discount code. Discount code is ESPEYE. I spy, because you can pronounce it that way. 10% off. Yeah, ESPEYE. Yeah. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Gets you 10% off everything except for things like AdaBox and gift certificates. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects. We have a bunch of cool projects that Lady Ada will talk about. Python on hardware. It's the number one trend, I've heard. We'll talk about that and more.
Yeah.
Back to mailbag. We'll stop by, read your emails, letters, and more to us. Time travel, look around in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, current event, and more. Help wanted, we have jobs at adafruit.com. We'll talk about some of the jobs that are on there and people posting skills. 3D printing, videos from Noah and Pedro, and a sped up video this week. Some made in New York City, that's factory footage here from the Adafruit factory. We got some new products, and we will answer your questions, and you probably want to do the following now.
Sign up on Discord.
Yeah, adafruit.it/Discord and join the
it's free.
Almost 12,000 of us.
It's easy.
On there, yeah.
You can ask your questions there.
And it's family safe, and there's moderation, and there's all those good things.
And there's great emojis.
Yep, and it makes it a great, cool place for people to learn from each other and share. So adafruit.it/Discord. We got some top secret stuff. You're going to really like what is secret this week. And we have a trivia question. We'll give away something at the end of the show. All that and more on...
Dun, 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 dun.
You guessed it. Ask an Engineer. Okay.
All right.
Well, let's do some Bill Pan stuff first.
Okay.
The code, don't forget, ESPEYE is the code. We have some giveaways. We're starting to run out of some of them, so you have to get them while the getting's good.
Yes.
Data, what are they?
If you place your order and you put a certain amount of stuff in your cart, you'll get some freebies for free. That's why they're freebies. If you order $99 or more, you'll get a free half-size Proto. It's the same size and shape as a solderless breadboard, but it's got solder tracks on it and this lovely silk screen in white, red, blue, and black. It's great for taking your solderless project and making it permanent on this Proto, so you can recycle your solderless breadboard. Free with your order of $99 or more. Orders of $149 or more, get a free enamel pin. We've run out of some pins, but we have 2 left over that blink at a computer. She is just having a good time typing. She types 1 character at a time with her tail. And Sparky the Blue Smoke Monster, who comes out when you make a slight mistake with electronics and maybe plug in the capacitor backwards. If you make an account, we'll make sure that each time you order, you'll get a different pin. So make an account, because we'll keep track of which pin we've already sent you. $199 or more, you'll get free UPS ground shipping in the continental United States. That's high-quality trackable shipping. It'll show up when it says it's going to show up. It's insured. It's like handled nicely. It won't like disappear for 2 weeks. We love UPS grounds. That's what we offer for free shipping. And at $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Espresso all-in-one development board that is so great for people who want to make projects or learn to code or learn to make. It has LEDs, it has buttons and switches and sensors, capacitive touchpads. You can program it in Arduino, Circuit Python, MakeCode, MakerBlock, Teeny Go or something just came out.
Teeny Go. Yeah.
Teeny Go and like a half a dozen other languages, but the most popular ones are, of course, MakeCode, CircuitPython, and Arduino. So great for any level, from drag and drop to typing away in C, C++.
Okay.
All that more when you order things.
Yeah. And if you do guest checkout, it'll be random, but if you have an Adafruit account, we know which one you got last, and
Yeah.
we send you a different one. And the other thing is, so I was talking to Lady Ada about this because we're always updating our site about making it better. And there's always things that we're never going to do. So you know how you go to a website and there's the little chat thing that pops up at the bottom,
Ding
and they're
dong.
like, yeah, and that's annoying. And if you're on mobile, that pops up, and then another thing like install the app. Like all these things happen, and it's like I really need to order something from the site, but I don't want to do it ever again. And then when you check out, they're forcing you to have an account, and then you get on a mailing list and you're on it forever. And then when you go to the site, there's also a newsletter thing that pops up, and you're sitting there and you're trying to order stuff, and there's like some type of free shipping deal, maybe you're not sure. You certainly don't get things as the more you add to your cart.
Yeah.
So that's why the Adafruit site is the way it is.
Streamlined.
We're not going to do that little chat thing. We're
It's
not going to.
respectful.
We're not going to pop up a newsletter thing.
In fact, if you want
We're
to
not-
sign up for the newsletter, it's really hard.
yeah, we're not going
Like,
to.
it's really challenging.
Yeah, and-
People think they did and they didn't.
We made a separate site for our newsletters called adafruitdaily.com just to prove we would never spam, because we wanted to make sure. Like, I thought it was a better idea if we had a separate site if you want to get a news-based newsletter. That way, it's never connected to your Adafruit account. So we don't spam, never will, and that's really important to us because the more e-commerce that I'm exposed to, the more I'm like, well,
It's bad.
there's good things out there, then there's things that we'll never do. And we've actually been talking about this for pretty much a decade. We've kept that promise. For shipping options, we have UPS. That's the one that Lydia was talking about. That's the one to choose. UPS Ground US
UPS
is really good.
Ground domestic.
Postal, a little slower, will eventually get there.
Also
And-
domestic.
And DHL International. However, I will say this. Today, Postal, USPS specifically, is my favorite carrier
Why?
because they teamed up with Forever 21 and they licensed out.
And they made these like
They
bitchin'
licensed out this.
outfit. Look
they,
at this.
They licensed out
so
this brand.
cool.
So I've probably personally shipped a few 100,000 packages via postal.
Was it a tote bag that looks like an
Yeah,
espresso?
and they're just like, hey, this is, and you can get this clear jacket.
this jacket is so sweet.
and it says official post office. So
and it's got that translucent plastic that they
So
use
this is
for
real.
the express envelopes.
yeah, so this is real, and I really like this because I think this is kind of the cyberpunk future that I wanted to live in. And the people that bought it, they're like, I work at the post office, it's legit, and it looks really good. So I just think this is neat. They don't have, I don't think I would look great in some of these. I think I could maybe drop a couple pounds and then maybe.
Yeah, you gotta look like that to wear stuff like this.
But I think this is really cool that the Postal Service is doing this. And if you look really close, that top, it's all the shipping labels. It's all the different things. There's a receipt. So anyways, they're my favorite carrier today. I hope UPS and DHL also comes out with this.
I think USPS though has like, I mean, it's got enough branding stuff that you can actually make a clothing line out of it.
This is cool. And we also have same-day service here in New York City. Check out before 11 a.m. and use the zip code thing at the bottom of the page. If it happens to be a zip code in Manhattan that we can ship same day, we will. Show and tell.
Yes.
People around the world showing and sharing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you all about the people who were showing and telling?
You should tell everybody about it.
Okay, I'll kick it off.
You have the piece of paper.
I do have the piece of paper. It's right here. I take notes. So I'm not going to remember this.
Yep.
We had Colin from Adafruit here. A bunch of Adafruit people came by and showed off their project. He made a PyPortal oblique strategies display. So he's got an oblique strategies card set, but maybe you want to have one on your PyPortal so it can like automatically update when you touch it. So he has all the oblique strategies in a array, and it will display each one as a quote as you press the button. You can change the font and the background image if you like. But he kept it with white on black, which is like the classic Brian Eno look. Brent is also here at Adafruit, and he's doing some scale hacking. We got these off-the-shelf postal scales, more in theme with post office stuff. And we're reading the data out from a pin that I found that has some data on it into a PyPortal. And we display that weight on the PyPortal. We're also going to internetify it. We're going to send that data to Adafruit.io. He does pour over coffee, and I guess pour over coffee, like you set it up, and then you have to know when it hits a certain like weight, and then it tells you. I don't know. There's a
whole ritual.
There's a ritual involved. He's going to internetify it because like it's just so. I mean, like why go with a Kickstarter that does that when you can just make your own?
Yeah.
So he's working on that is coming soon, so you saw a preview of that
Yeah,
project.
we'll have a video of it later in the show too.
The
one that you did.
The one I did. I kind of got it going, and I gave it to him for cleanup. Erin made a beautiful paper mache dragon lamp with neopixels and capacitive touch, and it lights up an ostrich egg, so it looks like it's a dragon egg, but it's actually from an ostrich. And she's going to hang it up in her house, and she's writing a guide for it now. So check that out. We'll have a guide up within the next week or two.
And we learned that you can get ostrich eggs from Amazon.
Like next day.
Same day shipping.
Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary. It's poor ostriches in like the Amazon warehouse. They have little computers
They're
strapped
just
to their
They're
necks.
just like walking around. And they're like, go faster, ostrich.
He's like, lay an egg.
No bathroom break for you, ostrich. And okay, fine. More eggs.
More eggs. No, Pedro showed off this week's 3D project. They worked with David Stells to make an alarm clock that is Elcar's Star Trek themed.
Yep.
Show off the video for that. JP is back. He took off last week. This week he's doing another triplet of PyPortal projects. He's already done a Bitcoin viewer that displays the value of a Bitcoin or your Bitcoin wallet. You could put that in, and it will automatically display how much your Bitcoin wallet is worth. So you can either cry or laugh on an hourly basis. He also has upcoming a How Many People Are in Space demo, which he'll show off. And right now there's 6.
There is.
There's more. Kattni also wrote up a guide on how to make a PyPortal NeoPixel color picker. It's a fun project. You can make buttons on the PyPortal with colors that you can define, and then when you touch that color, it will turn the PyPortal will send that data to the NeoPixels and make the NeoPixels light up in that shade as well. So graphical color picker. It doesn't use the internet, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. But maybe we could connect to the internet. We could have it control hue bulbs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We also had Rick come by with his 2 young assistants. They were both in the Girl Scouts, and they entered a Pinewood Derby car race. And one wanted a Galaxy car, and so they took a bunch of sparkly LEDs that auto sparkle.
Yeah.
They put them together. They made a little battery.
They got best of show.
Got one best of show, and there's actually an award with stars in it.
Yeah.
And the other one made a ketchup car.
Yeah.
And you made a
second
joke
place.
about that. And that one got second
Yeah.
place.
You have to scream, ketchup, ketchup.
Ketchup. They look great. So nice job with these derby cars. Wayne came by again. I guess he maybe showed up like a year ago and talked about maker buoys, which is his project makerbuoy.com. And he's made 50 buoys for ocean cleanup, which is a group that is trying to track, I guess, trash in the ocean and maybe like this like gigantic plastic garbage patch. And he used Adafruit stuff, voltaic solar cells, solar charger, LiPo batteries, and a rock block satellite modem. And he even showed a map of the buoy as it traveled from the east coast of the U.S. And it's like 3,000 miles off the coast of Portugal right now.
As seen on Show and Tell sticker is inside of
It's
it.
it's in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's like working, which is like, frankly, it's kind of amazing to me that like, I mean, I know the stuff we make, it should be durable enough to put in the ocean, but it's like, that would terrify me. It's like, what do you mean it's out there and you can't get it?
If someone asked us like, hey, I'm going to do this, should I get an Adafruit thing? We'd be like, well, like,
I don't want to be on the hook on that.
maybe get something like, military grade or something. I don't know, because it's going to be in the ocean by itself for a year. But good work, Lady Ada. You designed something really good.
I guess it worked out. Yeah, he uses our ultimate GPS.
Yeah.
That I'm not too worried about, but the solar charging, I guess as long as it's completely watertight and you...
Yeah, Wayne said it just
the
works.
battery
It just works.
is shaded, I guess there's no reason why it won't work. All right,
Okay.
that's what we had on Show and Tell.
All participants on the Show and Tell get an as seen on the Show and Tell sticker if your kid have your parent email supported Adafruit, and they will send you out one. It's part of our Adafruit live series of shows. JP will be back tomorrow. Welcome back.
Yay!
For John Park's workshop, and this is one of the things he's going to show that Lady Ada alluded to.
Eluded.
So tune in to that tomorrow.
Wouldn't you like to know how many people are in space using CircuitPython?
Plenty of people in space, not enough of the specific type of spacesuits needed. You'll see the newsletter.
I know.
Okay.
Speaking of CircuitPython in space.
Yeah, well, CircuitPython's in space. It's in some satellites now, these little microsatellites. It is time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of Python on hardware. So we're going to do something a little different. Code Plus community. In the past, we have decided let's not talk about Kickstarters because you don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? But because people are starting to do things like new variants of something like an Arduino Zero. And they're like, well, let's put the best thing on it that lots of people might use. And they're already doing pull requests. There's already a board. So he said, you know what, let's start showcasing. If you're putting CircuitPython on a board and you have a Kickstarter, as long as we see it and there's like some type of pull request and we can like, okay, you did the work. It's not just a rendering. We'll help promote it. So this is UChip. This is Arduino Zero compatible in a narrow DIP 16 package. This
That's
is what
very
it looks
narrow.
like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Skinny. How skinny that is.
And it does all sorts of things, but relevant to our interests.
It's got like a boost converter underneath.
Yeah,
there.
it runs CircuitPython.
Yay! And
It's open source
new.
hardware, runs CircuitPython, and one of the places you'll see this show up soon is CircuitPython.org. It's our new site. It's super handy. We're all using it. That's how when you know it's handy, when all the developers
I'm using
and
it every
people
day 'cause
who work on
it's
it.
great.
Yeah, so it's CircuitPython.org. I'm clipping away at some other bits of text. I got a bunch of the photos. Hug report and shout out to Justin and Scott and everyone else who's been working on it. But you'll see this board amongst many others. We have 30 plus boards at CircuitPython.org. If you go there and you click a board and you don't see text for it, you can start and help with that as well. And you'll also see a bunch of boards added over time. So CircuitPython.org, and you click downloads and you'll be able to see the exact latest firmware. You'll also be able to do the filter by features. We have lots of neat things, and it shows by number of
Wi-Fi,
downloads.
Bluetooth. Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, Wednesday next week at 3 p.m. we're doing an Internet of Things in Python talk
Yay!
at HackChat.
I'll be
Hackaday.io.
there.
We will post up more information, and they always have a cool poster that they
Wait,
make.
the hack chat's on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's on Wednesday at 3. They moved it to Wednesdays.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so Wednesday next week, we'll be doing Internet of Things and Python on HackChat. You'll see all sorts of cool stuff. The latest issue of Make came out, and do you know what the number one tech trend was?
No, I
Do
don't know.
do you? Well, I'm glad you asked. The number one tech trend was a push for Python. And Make covered all sorts of boards. They have like hundreds of them in there. And lots of Adafruit was in there. Thank you, Make editors. And also, they noticed lots of things going on like FPGAs, edge computing. The push for Python is the top number one tech trend. And they also link to our awesome CircuitPython list on GitHub, and you can see all sorts of CircuitPython capable boards in addition to all other goodies. If you don't have a subscription to Make, pick it up.
You can get it off newsstands too.
Also, Noah and Pedro has a cool article in it as well. We
Sweet.
talked about this last week, but this is in our newsletter this week. Big ink for Scott Shawcroft, squeezing Python into microcontrollers. This is from IEEE Spectrum, so you know it's good. And it's the article about our efforts, Scott's efforts, all of our collective efforts for getting Python on microcontrollers. In Hackspace magazine, SparkFun got 9 out of 10 for their CircuitPython running board, the Lumi Drive LED driver.
Nice.
That is cool. Seeing our stuff and other people's products, get 9 out of 10. That's exactly what we wanted to see. They said this is a really simple way to get going with Blinky and Python. Cool. This was a open source Asia conference, and this is a talk by I want to make sure I get it right, is Ian, I believe. And this is an entire talk. It's online, and we posted the video that you can learn about MicroPython, CircuitPython, and all the work that's being done with it, how to get started with it. Sophie had a great interview with Cool Tools about Circuit Playground Express.
She's doing the coolest stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, like
that's why
she
she was
is,
on Cool
she is
Tools.
the coolest
That she was on
of
Cool
tool
Tools.
users.
And in the latest Hackspace, she also did the Circuit Playground Flappy Bird project, which
Yeah.
is really neat.
Yeah.
There's an entire podcast devoted to PyPortal. This is the Disrupt Yourself podcast, one of my favorite ones to listen to. Went over all sorts of things with CircuitPython and PyPortal and more. We showed this off next week as a coming soon, but this is our big news that's happened recently. We applied to use the 4-H logo on the Circuit Playground Express so more people could get CircuitPython and MakeCode and TinyGo and Arduino and Code.org and CS Discoveries. And it is now official. We have approval, and we work with 4-H, so lots of cool 4-H stuff coming soon. Lady Ada did a scale project. This is what we were talking about before. So here's a video hot off the desk of Lady Ada when we got it working. Lady Ada, what is this?
This is a scale. It's a digital USB scale that I picked up, and I wanted to see if I can make an IoT scale, because it's actually like cheaper to just buy fully made scales and then IoTify them than try to like DIY it by yourself. So what I've got here is a PyPortal, and it's got a data line reading the data from this Dymo scale, and you know, and you can see as I press it, I'm reading the grams, and I can also change over to ounces if I'm feeling imperial.
Okay.
And then the next step is to make this internetified by using the built-in ESP32 on the back here to send that scale data to Adafruit.io so we can make an Internet of Things scale. That's my project.
Cool. Okay. And
You also
then-
got to see me in makeup, which is kind of weird. Because I was shooting a video that day, which
Yeah.
you'll see soon.
See, Lady Ada is a little different. She wears makeup, but she's never on camera. She gets completely, it's formal all the time. It's only in front of the camera and at Adafruit that she dresses down. It's a little weird. So this is one of the projects we did. Someone came up with a website, and it was killed by Google. And it had a JSON file that had all of the things that Google killed off. So here is the video of what it looked like on a PyPortal. So this boots up, reaches out on the internet, and gets the feed. It'll show what the product name was, and then what year it was killed off. So this is the Nexus
Yay.
Q, and this was killed off in July of 2013.
Yay!
So you
Oh,
know,
your favoriteest things in the world.
so everything you like to Google, you can get a little desktop reminder.
To remind you of the thing that you were using, and then it got killed off.
This is Google Notifier. It alerted users to new messages in their Gmail account. Killed off 1/31/2014. So this was just a neat example. There's things like this that you can just point a PyPortal at, and it'll be able to display useful information like this. This is a coming soon. This is our take on kind of HyperCard, but it's also a really neat way to use PyPortal. So this is called PyperCard. This was the demo, and this also was a choose your own adventure project. So this is one that I'm working on. So boots up. I had these neat Bill Atkinson HyperCard Apple style graphics from back in the day, and what it does is it reads a JSON file locally, and this is what tells it all the different things: where to put a button, what page to go to. I tried to make it look Mac-like, and this is the choose your own adventure part. It's like you don't have any friends, so you decide, hey, maybe you want to make a robot friend, and to be continued. So that's real. It's working. Other folks got their PyPortals, so they
Look at those nice
use
nails.
some of the. Yeah, that's not my hand. This is people in the world who got their PyPortals.
Nice nails.
This is not a real cat. I think it's an AI site that just cranks out images of fake cats. So that works with PyPortal. This was we first heard about this from a pull request, but then the person posted up a lot of things. This is all the cool load of the cluster, and then it'll let them know.
It's their door signs when people, because
Yeah.
they do ops, and so when somebody's looking for them, they put this on their door, and then it shows their latest tweet, which is their status, and then the load graph, which can, like, you know, if something is amiss, you can quickly tell if the load shoots up or drops down too fast.
Yeah, and then because there was a Brexit petition, someone immediately made how many signatures are on it, and they threw that on their PyPortal. Then this was a Pi badge that goes on Twitter using if then this that, and then puts the Twitter message on their they're using it as a badge. Mm-hmm. And this is from Melissa Maker, and this is a cool display I/O. Lady Ada can correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
this is a
wrong.
display demo for
With-
the TFT feathering.
Yeah. That's
So it shows
cool.
that you can use Display I/O on an add-on, not just for boards that have a TFT built into them, like the PyPortal, and you'll even get the REPL very small on a teeny little display like this, so you can see it's only, I think, like 160 by 80 pixels, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's a little display.
And then someone's making a game called Circuit Dungeon, which is super cute, and it runs on the HoloWing. And then Radomir made the snake game, and you use the little teeth to steer the snake around. These are robots from Mystery Science Theater 3000. This is Packy, and Packy that's the name of the bot because it goes in a backpack, and it's Gypsy that pops out of it, and it's now using Cricket, and I believe Circuit Playground Express 2. These are all the robots, and they talk and stuff. Made with Moo. Moo has some interesting things going on. The Moo Alpha is here. So it's the 1.0 01
0.2?
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's features like Tidy, there's ESP32, ESP8266 MicroPython support.
Yeah.
There's now packages. So if you're interested in probably one of the easiest to use IDEs for Python, this is for you.
So great to start, but then don't forget, you can always jump from that to Atom. I actually use Atom now more, which I like.
Yeah.
But Moo is like, what I like about it is it has an
choices.
auto-repl.
Yeah.
I love that auto-repling. Oh, it's so great.
Choices. I like that any text editor will do, so like doesn't matter.
Yeah, you use like simple text.
I use a text editor a lot. Then there's Snack. This is one I'm watching. Keith is doing a really neat job with getting a very small, tiny version of Python on Arduinos, but then he also is getting to work on the Metro Rs.
HyperD's out.
The latest PyBoard D, I have some on order. We'll let you know when we
Yay.
get it. We'll also post up some full
Hyperpower
photos.
Cortex M4 with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth
Yeah.
and M7 200 megahertz. This is a massive chip, but it's in a very small size PCB, and it's got these cool Hiroshi style connectors for adding extensions to it. So it's ultra powerful, and I love the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in.
And then you have to watch the whole video on this, and it's in the newsletter and on our site. But this is called Meowbit, and it's a really interesting device that's kind of like a microbit, kind of like a game device, kind of like a little bit of everything. And it's pretty powerful. It runs MakeCode, it can run MicroPython. Check it out. It has a lot of things going on. ESP32 on the back, and like it's neat and it's weird and it's cool. People are getting the Sci5 brought up with some MicroPython stuff.
Yay.
So you'll start to see some of this coming out. But this is MicroPython 1.10230 Sci5 551.
Yep.
Espressive is getting into like the gossip business, and they're like, hey, soonish is going to come out. So everyone's starting to guess, like, what is this new ESP? Because the last ESP32 came out in about 2016, and so folks are guessing. They're saying, like, is this in
Well,
there?
more
Like,
powerful, I think, more
GPIO, yeah.
more pins, and then maybe they're
maybe
thinking maybe
USB,
a USB.
maybe USB, yeah.
Which would be interesting for us if they actually have a true USB stack, not just like USB serial.
Yeah,
That
so-
could be a good candidate for CircuitPython.
Rumors, gossip. Some of these things that you saw were in the Melbourne MicroPython meetup. We also, I share links with Matt, who runs this, in our newsletter. So if you haven't, search for that. You can also look in our newsletter for this. Matt does a really good job posting these up each week. I also found this really neat MicroPython microbit site, Chinese language site. They have like really, this is where I saw the Meowbit. So if you want to, like the latest stuff that you might not see right away that just happens to run some Python on hardware. Also, I'm going to try to figure out a way to subscribe to this magazine. This is Interface Magazine in Japan. They're up to their like 1,000th issue, and they did a whole big thing on MicroPython and Python on hardware.
And there's a lot of Japanese fans of MicroPython and CircuitPython.
Yeah.
It kind of, I think they're interested
I think
in
because
it.
they have Python, they're just like,
Yeah.
great. Speaking of, Mike helped put together a really good Python podcast, including our own. And then this was another neat thing. This is a board that was made for universities. And
It's a Xilinx FPGA
Yeah.
board called the Pink, and you program the FPGA in Python. Now the FPGA doesn't run Python, but like instead of I think VHDL, I think you write it your definition of your gate definitions in Python. And I think that's kind of interesting. It's higher level languages. It's a good idea actually because a lot of people aren't going to learn VHDL, and it expands the number of people who are going to use FPGAs. So this is the Pink board from Xilinx. So yeah, it's a powerful FPGA, and then you use not just
Yeah.
Python, but you use what's it called, Jupyter notebooks. So yeah, really fascinating.
yeah, it's pynq.io if you want to learn more. Also, on our jobs board, don't forget, there's a lot of people posting up their Python-related skills, or there are companies that want Python-related skills, and now more with hardware. If you're in Berlin tomorrow, you can go to PyBerlin. Calliope is doing mini integration with MicroPython. Jorn is doing that talk. KaiCon's coming up. Is it KeyCon or KaiCon? See, this is the problem.
Not get into that.
And this is coming up soon. We're a sponsor. April 26th and 27th. You can see all sorts of cool things and more KiCad-KiCon.com. And then our big event where we'll see many of you will be at PyCon May 1st through 9th. DigiKey and Adafruit teamed up, and if you're going, guess what you get? You get this cool limited edition red Circuit Playground Express running Circuit Python. The team will be there and more. They'll be doing workshop sprints, and many of the people that are in the Discord chat, I think Melissa's going to be there, Brent, Statius, Dan, Katney Scott, and more will be there. All this is in github.com/adafruit/awesome-circuitpython. It's on our newsletter, and if you want to, you can subscribe on Adafruit Daily and just click Python on microcontrollers. We're now up to about 5,000 plus people that read every single week.
So many people, so much news.
It's a lot. There's
I can't
more.
believe that was just 1 week.
There's more.
And we didn't cover everything.
There's more that I just have to put in the one for next week. Okay, back to mailbag. We read these emails to all of our team members here in New York City at a meeting called State of the Fruit, but we also read them to you. And this week, this was a longer one, so I'm just going to read the last part. This is from William. It says, thank you very much for the products and documentation to use it. Adafruit is my go-to company for anything Arduino. Yes, I do order via Amazon Prime for obvious reasons, but I still search for Adafruit first. Product loyalty is difficult to attain, and you have earned mine.
Oh, yay. Thanks, William.
All right. Time travel. Look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. Some celebrations, some things that we're working on. First up, this is kind of a big deal. Congratulations, Apache Foundation, for 20 years of community-led development. And the stat, so they're one of the biggest open source foundations, and the stat that really jumped out was world's largest open source foundation provides 20 billion plus worth of software for the public good at 100% no cost.
Without question, Apache, and Nginx runs the internet.
If you've done anything with a computer at all in any way, at any time in your life now, you probably had something to do with Apache, probably by now. And speaking of historic moments, we'll be tweeting at some companies, so I did a blog post to make sure why they knew. We're not like tweet stalking them. We just want to know what dates they were founded, because we're going to do this giant project with DigiKey, and it's called This Day in Electronics History. So you know all those sites that are like this day in science history, this day in this history. We're going to have this day in electronics history.
There isn't one yet.
There isn't one yet.
We should make
But there's going to be one. Mike Burrell's working on this. I'm working on this.
I'm working on it.
DigiKey's working on it. Everyone's working on this. And we'll have things like, when would this component came out? When was Adafruit founded? When was DigiKey founded? When was this person born? When did this happen? When did this happen? So we're gonna have all those things. So we think it'll be useful. So every single day, and you can display it on things like a PyPortal. We're building it from the start, so it can go anywhere, like a tweet, a blog post, PyPortal. It could be a printed calendar. We want to make something once and be able to share this with everyone, and they can, they'll add their own too.
Exciting.
Okay. And don't forget, jobs@adafruit.com. That's where you post your jobs. I have to do a reminder every week because folks are like, where do I post that job? And that's where you can post it. Okay, Lady Ada, we're an open source hardware company.
We are.
And we have a bunch of guides, and I added that extra one, so when you want to go to the most recent one.
Yeah, I know we had a last minute guide. Okay, so we have, from last week we had that PyPortal animated GIF display. We showed that off last week.
Yeah, I had.
But you have a new GIF.
Well, I just said this one, we're going to do this hack chat, and when I was getting ready to do the hack chat stuff, I got a 404, and there was a cool animated GIF, so I just took it and I put it on the PyPortal.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's called the Hackbot.
That's cool.
There's a little Hackaday logo. So that's what you can do with the PyPortal. You can put animated GIFs on it too.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We got a guide from Brent on using the new ADI Featherwing. You can send to Adafruit.io XYZ accelerometer data as well as temperature, and then graph it on your phone. So that's pretty handy. We've got the PyPortal smart thermometer. That's also a project by Brent. So that's taking Noah and Pedro's. Oh, so that's accelerometer and temperature.
Oh, sorry.
That one. And then this is a PyPortal thermometer, but it attaches to a light switch, so you can turn it on or off by putting your hand in front of it, because there's a light sensor. So you trigger the light sensor, and it will tell you the current temperature based on the temperature reading from the ADI ADT 7410, and also upload that data to Adafruit.io for you. So it's kind of a nice wall mount temperature display, but can also be used for IoT control as well. We might be doing some projects with lights, Wi-Fi controlled lights, so that would be a good physical mount for that. We got 2 guides from David Stell's, kind of on a higher, kind of more abstract concepts in CircuitPython. One is iter tools for CircuitPython. So iteration is a key computer science concept. And CircuitPython and Python 3 do a good job of it. They have ideas of iterators built in that you can yield data without having to return it, and you can keep context. So he wrote a guide about iter tools, which is an add-on. Iteration is built into CircuitPython, but iter tools kind of gives you all these little helpers. And he did a quick port of the iter tools Python library, a minimal version for CircuitPython, and wrote a guide about it. And then also currying in CircuitPython, which I actually didn't know about. Currying is basically the function, making partial functions that already have some arguments defined, and then you can create a new function that you can map on other lists of data. So the graphics were all images of curries, and I guess it's named after Haskell Curry, who was the person who also either wrote or inspired the Haskell language, which I don't know, but I guess uses curried functions quite a bit. So it's kind of like it's a wrapper for a function that manipulates data that you can then pass around as an object. We also have the 2 Bitcoin PyPortal guides. Again, one shows the current value of Bitcoin in US dollars, euros, or British pounds, and then also a version which allows you to do a transform, which is kind of related to, I guess, this currying stuff, on that data to display how much your Bitcoin wallet is worth. So you tell it how many Bitcoins you own. It will tell you the value of your wallet based on the CoinDesk API. We got a master 3D printed project this week. It's a collab between Noah Pedro and Dave Estells. Dave wrote this sweet PyPortal alarm clock that's like Elcar Star Trek themed, and Noah Pedro made a cool case that goes with it. We'll show a video for that soon. And then we have from Colin an Oblique Strategies PyPortal. Doesn't use the internet. All it does is show you one of the 100 or so, 120 different oblique strategies from the Brian Eno card deck. But pick up the card deck because it's super cool. It's beautiful. It comes in a nice case. But also you can show how to display varying lists of text on a PyPortal. And every time you touch it, it will show a new oblique strategy. So you can stay creative.
Okay. And then this tutorial that Kent needed just came in right before the show, so I put this as a separate page.
This is the color picker, another non-internet PyPortal project. Some people are like, I don't want to have my electronics on the internet. This is a color picker, does exactly what you think. There's colored squares on the screen, and then you can select different modes. You can control up to 2 neopixel strips, change the colors. You can probably do animations and everything too, but this is a basic demo showing how to select up to 12 different colors or patterns on your neopixels using a touchscreen. Handy.
Okay, and that is 1,804 tutorials. I also had one more video that I made for GIFs. So this is from Swear Trek, and I had to find ones, and Mike helped me out with this. I had to find ones that they didn't curse, because it takes scenes from Star Trek the Animated Series or any of the series live action movies, and then they add curses to it. So not exactly great for when you don't want to see curse words, but there are some. He's like, hey, go away. And I put these on here because it's funny. And then this last one's my favorite one, because there's a lot of terrible people on Twitter. And I just imagine it's Ricardo Montalban's voice. I'd like to cordially invite you to my blacklist.
Is that from the original series, or what's that?
That's from Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's keep going.
All right, sweet.
We will be doing the AdaBox live unboxing. So if you don't want to know what's in it, or if you're just tuning in as part of the show now, I'll be out not next week, but the week after.
Yep, on the 10th.
So that'll be coming up soon. If you want to save it for that time, you can. Made in New York City factory footage. Take it away, factory. And we have some laser cutting. What could it be? What could it be?
Starts with a D. More laser cutting.
Yep.
This is what I really don't know. What is circular like this? Oh, I'm serious.
Yep. It's the flame pattern on
Flame demo for the Charlie wing.
This is testing some
This is a
phones.
4-way tester. So testing Fona feathers, Fona shields, Fona breakouts. There's a lot of, we have to plug in so much stuff to test these Fonas.
And this is what the pick and place machines see outside the window every single week here in the New York City factory. All right, 3D printing. Now, on Pedro, have a couple things this week. The first one, as you guess, is the Star Trek alarm clock, and then we'll go to a speed up.
Engage.
In this project, we're building an IoT alarm clock using Adafruit's PyPortal. This displays the time and weather using custom fonts and icons. The device features a built-in snooze button, and the alarm triggers sound effects. The case is 3D printed and designed to match the clock's Star Trek theming. So it has a retro-inspired design that fits well with the aesthetic. You can set the alarm by tapping buttons on screen and use the UI to either turn it on or off. Connections on the back feature USB ports for charging the built-in LiPo battery and an extra device. So you can plug in a USB cable and charge your phone on maybe your nightstand. You can use CircuitPython to program PyPortal using the Mu Python editor. The code, written by Dave Vistells, is on Adafruit's Learn site and posted on GitHub. So go to circuitpython.org and get the latest version for your hardware. Get the parts to build this project, links are in the description. We designed the enclosure to be 3D printed using PLA filament. The PyPortal is secured to the 3D printed parts using fasteners. Be sure to check out the Learn guide for a full step-by-step tutorial so you can follow along and build your own. The electronics are installed and snap-fitted into the 3D printed enclosure. Jumper cables make it easy to connect the components together. Stemma connectors make your projects into a modular build. We think PyPortal makes building IoT projects fun, and CircuitPython makes it easy to learn how to program hardware. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
And here is a speed up.
Zoom.
And if you want to learn how to make all that stuff and more, tune into 3D Hangouts every Wednesday. It's now Pedro. All right, well, Adita, before we do new products, I should say this is the code. So if folks want to load up their cart, they can do that now, and they can check out and save some money while supporting us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. Here we go.
Yep. New, 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 new.
That was good. Okay.
Okay, we got a lot
First
of
up,
cables this
cables.
week. first off, we got this.
Cables.
Last week we had a 1 meter long version of this cable with a reversible USB. This week we have a non-reversible USB version, but it's 2 meters long. It's got this great purple pink over braid and over molding. It feels great. It's a lovely cable. We had it custom made to our color specifications. And then, yeah, it's a 2 meter long USB cable. We don't have a lot of 2 meter long cables, so this is it's a pretty good deal, and it's high quality. So we'll show it off in a demo. We've got a bunch of panel mount stuff. So this is interesting because this is a snap-in panel mount. We have a bunch of panel mount cables that you have to screw in, and these, what's nice is you just cut a rectangular hole, and you don't have to be that precise about it, and you snap this in. So I have a demo.
Yeah.
I can show off. So, so you have to make, the hole has to be a certain size so you can fit the other end. But for example, this cable has a USB-C on one side, so you can show that off, and then USB-A on the other. So you'd plug this in, because USB-C can be, either way, host or peripheral. So let's say you have a piece of plastic or wood or metal. You can fit the USB-A through here, and as long as you cut it, the dimensions are on the product page. I don't remember the exact millimeters. You just snap this in, and it doesn't have to be as precise. There's a bit of flexibility on it. And what's nice is you get a really nice, smooth bezel on the top here, and it's secured from the back. And then, if you want to open it, you just squeeze these little ears.
That's cool.
To pop it right out. So this is a lot easier. The other kind we have are this, which don't need as large of a slot. They only need like a smaller hole, but you do need to have the drills. So I think maybe this is kind of the more modern style.
Yeah, it depends on like what you're using.
It depends what you're using it for, but I actually really like this. This is very slim, but you don't have to get the 2 holes aligned perfectly. You just cut a rectangular hole out, and then you can just snap this in. And it doesn't work on the, that's another thing. It doesn't work on the thickest material. The material has to be like 5 millimeters thick or less. Whereas with this, it can be pretty much as thick as you want, because you can always just get longer screws to attach it. So a couple different panel mounts. So let's go back and I'll talk about the different types. So
now we have another one.
So we also have an HDMI version. So similar, it's panel mount, and it's got HDMI. It's kind of an extension cord. Ditto, you have HDMI on one end, and then you have this panel mount square. So those are the 2 pop-in versions. And then we have the 2 screw-in versions. These are kind of the old-style panel mount cables. One has USB-C to micro B. So good if you have there's a lot of devices that have old USB micro B or USB-A connectors, but maybe you want to upgrade to USB-C. So these kind of do the conversion for you at the same time. So you can get,
Oops, sorry.
Too fast.
Yeah.
So you get, this goes micro B to USB-C, and I think we also have one that's USB-A host to USB-C. So we have a whole bunch of different panel mount cables, like a really wide variety of them. Both these screw-in types, and we're getting these snap-in panel types as well. But people really like them. It's actually quite hard to get good quality panel mount cables, but I really like the ones that our cable supplier has been making for us. Okay. Now
What could this be?
This is the ESPEYE, just like that code.
This is like the code. It's amazing. There's a camera on the other side of
There's
an
a
ESP.
camera. It's an ESP32 dev board from Espressif to show off. And basically, they've designed this to show off their voice and vision recognition. So this is not, it's all done on chip. So one nice thing is you don't have to use the internet. It's actually just using the processing power of the chip itself to do the vision and voice recognition. It's not going to compete with your Alexa. It's not going to be like the highest end computer that has all this, natural language processing stuff. It can do basic watch word detection, and it can do basic facial recognition. So I can show it off here. So let me just show it on the overhead real fast.
Yeah.
It has, I'll just show it, and then I'll set up the demo. So I've plugged into my lovely cable. So it's the USB goes into a USB serial converter. It has an ESP32. It has, I think, 8 megabytes of PSRAM and 8 megabytes of flash. Here's the Wi-Fi antenna. On the other side, it has a MEMS microphone, a couple buttons, and a camera. And let's see, I can...
Yeah, so why don't you hold it, put it underneath the display there.
I know. This is going to be very exciting.
Yeah,
so
we're going to try this out.
I'm going to try this out.
Sort.
Hold on, everybody. I'm just going to
and we
not break
previously
everything.
trained it to recognize me. So we'll see if it works again.
Hold on, give me a second.
You can just move it forward.
I am trying to, but I also want to zoom this in. Okay, So right now, this is the camera, and I've got the 2 meter long cable. So Phil can point it at his face, and hopefully, yep, it recognizes you as hello ID. I can't see what it says. ID1?
ID1.
ID2. Because ID1, I think, is me. So there's a couple LEDs that tell you when it's recognized the face. As you see, it can do recognition. It only does like 2 or 3 frames a second. It's not terribly fast. It's definitely not going to be as fast as like a high-powered Linux computer. However, for the price, the size, and the power, it's pretty amazing what it can do. They can recognize a face in a couple seconds. So you can use this for some basic facial recognition projects. I'm not demoing the audio recognition, but it can also do like watchword detection. So when you turn it on, it can detect when you say a word to start the vision recognition stuff. So yeah, it detected Jelly, who's in the photo for the demo. It does not detect me for some reason.
Nope, you can't be seen.
I cannot be seen. But that's the ESPEYE. So a very cool dev board. Doesn't have to be used for that project, but it comes with it. But any project that you want to do that would have a microphone or video camera, I think this would be a good dev board for that purpose. And it's got like a couple buttons and LEDs to help you know what it's doing. And also there's some GPIO you can connect to if you want to as well.
And tonight, the star of the show, besides you, Lady Ada, and the community, is...
The Vemel 7700, yay!
There's
everybody.
something about this board that's probably special.
It is, if you
There's
look.
something... Is it this picture has it now?
No, not that picture. Not that
has
picture.
it.
Not that picture.
Oh, someone we know made this board.
It's Katney. This is Katney's first board that she designed. So it has her signature on the back. She signed every single one of them. No, not really. We had a robot do that. But her signature is burned into the back of each PCB.
Yeah. My joke was, this is like way better than that Apple card that they like laser etch your name in titanium. You want a circuit board.
No,
This will be accepted at all. This is a new form of payment.
This is a very handy sensor as well. This is a I2C lux sensor. What I like about this is it's a low cost sensor. It's very simple. It's just power, ground, I2C. It's like super simple. And it calculates lux for you. A lot of sensors give you a monotonic light level reading, or it just tells you if something is darker or lighter. This one, it's like trimmed to give you lux. And so I think the range is like 0.01 or less lux up to like 12 kilolux. You can change the gain and the integration time. It doesn't do it dynamically. You do have to change it, as you reach the level, the range, the max and min of the range you're using. But for the price and the simplicity, we've got Arduino code and CircuitPython code for it. It's a lovely lux sensor, and again, one of the few sensors I've seen that actually gives you lux output, not just brightness, color, or whatever light output. So that is something I like about this, and I've got a little demo for it as well that I can show. It's my standard feather with an OLED, and then I just cover it up. And this is with the 100. I think I'm using the 100 millisecond integration time, so works quite well. Make it pretty dark. Actually, not too dark if I have to cover up quite well. But it goes down pretty low lux levels, and then it's kind of bright in here because we've got a bunch of lights on. So, an easy to use lux sensor. I like it. Gets a thumbs up from me.
Okay.
And that's it. That's new products. Time for recap. New recap. A lot of cables. We've got this beautiful 2 meter long USB to micro B cable with pink and purple braided over molding. It's a gorgeous cable. It's 2 meters long. We've got a bunch of panel mount cables. This is a panel mount USB-C to USB-A, so convert USB-A to USB-C, and it's got a rectangular panel cut out, so it's really easy to mount. Just cut the rectangular shape and pop it in. We've also got an HDMI version of the same cable, panel mount with the rectangular snap-in. And we also have a couple of the older style panel mount cables. This is USB-C to micro B, and I think we also have one of USB-C to A as well. So we've got a couple panel mount cables. The ESPEYE is an ESP32 dev board. It comes with a bunch of RAM, PS RAM, and flash. USB cable, has a camera and MEMS microphone on it. Can do very basic but effective voice and vision recognition. Do facial recognition using the ESP IDF and their face recognition API. It comes with a demo, but check it out. This is a good board if you want to take advantage of the high-powered chip that's the ESP32 and add a camera, sort of basic vision, 2-megapixel camera, and basic MEMS microphone for watchword detection or maybe recording audio. And we've got this VEML 7700. This is an I2C lux sensor designed by Kattni. It's even signed on the back. This is a great sensor that has a lux output, which is rare. Most light sensors don't give you true lux. They give you a light level. This one actually gives you lux values. It goes from 0 to, I think, like 12 kilolux. It's fast responsive. You have a lot of configuration things you can do with it. But it's just really easy to use, and it's a great price.
Okay.
That's the news. New.
All right. Well, don't forget the code is ESPEYE. If you've been waiting to use that code on the way out of your shopping experience, you can do that. Let's do some top secret, and then y'all can start going into Discord, adafruit.it/Discord, and we will start answering some questions soon. Okay, top secret.
Top secret. So people like in the Pi portal, the idea of having an ESP32 Wi-Fi coprocessor, which is kind of what we're experimenting with the Pi portal, seems to be working out, which is great. So we decided let's make a couple boards for it. So this is an Airlift breakout board. So it just kind of has all the minimum you need to add ESP32 Wi-Fi. And you made it last weekend. You came up with a cute logo design and name called Airlift. We also have a feather wing version. So it uses the SPI and a couple pins, and you can plug it onto any feather other than the ESP8266, which wouldn't make sense to add it to there anyways. And then you get a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth edition. So it's got the ESP32. I put on the power supply just in case the power supply wasn't good from the feather. You'd have extra power. We said an RGB LED, and I also added a Wi-Fi, the coprocessor, which actually you don't see here. I added it later, but an ECC 608 secure coprocessor. Maybe we'll have an option for that as well. So this will be handy for the Metro, the Feather M4s. For the Metro M4, we're wrapping up the Wi-Fi add-on version of that. We actually worked on this for a couple months now. The silk screen's getting done, and I think the CircuitPython definition is being wrapped up. So ditto, it's a Metro M4, which is a lovely chip, but now we've added an ESP32 as a Wi-Fi coprocessor, and then you can use it to connect to the internet, and it works great in Arduino and CircuitPython.
Okay. And then we have a slightly different version of it.
Yeah, the Lite is just going to be, I think, less memory. I think we're going to have a less expensive version that kind of is a little bit more bare bones, and then a mega version that's like, okay, you want all the RAM.
Okay, and for folks who watch our repos and stuff, you're really like, what's this Pi badge thing? Well, this is what the Pi badge is.
Yeah, and I have one here. Hold on. We can show it off. Oh my goodness, this ESPEYE gets a little warm. So this is, I'm sort of finishing this up. It's basically, what can we fit onto a credit card sized PCBs. This is one credit card. Credit cards are like bigger than you think. Like they're actually quite large. So this is a 1.8-inch display, and I got these really sweet silicone buttons. I've never seen these before. They're tactile buttons, but instead of just being hardtop, they have these silicone inserts, and they feel great. So I'm getting some of these for the store and also for this board, but they're very grippy. So you get the directional pad and AB, and then select start, and then on the back, M4 board with accelerometer and kind of the classic stemma connections, on-off switch, so you can save power, turn on and off. Speaker. I actually am going to drop the headphone jack. I'm actually not going to do the headphone jack in the end, I think. I'm going to put a buzzer instead. RAM, light sensor, and maybe a little spot here for a battery so you can have it be portable. So maybe we're thinking of if you were at a conference and you wanted the ultimate badge, this could be it. Also got some NeoPixels so you can light them up. I turned them off because they were blinding. But you have a display here. Right now it's an Arduino, but of course it'll work with CircuitPython as well.
Okay.
You can see the demo code and this lovely silk screen by Phil B. This is the badge.
Back in the vault. Okay, well, it's time to answer some questions. If you go to adafruit.it/Discord, post them up there. Just don't ask questions about the it's not out yet stuff, because it's not out yet. Don't ask. So it's top secret. It's a secret. Okay, I'm gonna go over to. This looks like Kenny's getting some kudos
Props.
for the board. Folks want to
Nice.
know: would you do that this sensor as a feather wing at some point?
Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of small. I think you would just wire it up directly.
Yeah.
But it is a nice sensor.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Will Adafruit ever have another version of the Pi Portal without the screen and like have HDMI out?
That's called the Raspberry Pi Zero.
Got it.
So just get one of those.
Okay. And how do we make the phone for the giveaways?
Well, we didn't make it. It's from Radio Shack.
Yeah, that's a Radio
That's
Shack
actually what
phone.
phones, you know, they actually used to be made this way, so they just made
And
it clear.
I have a microphone on the speaker. I used to have the payphone working, but just haven't had like 3 hours to refix the
Once
payphone.
you start like doing a payphone, you're just,
Payphone's like an 8-hour project.
it's an 8-hour project. Just get a payphone up and running.
Okay.
We'll get it up and running again.
I've
But you know
heard-
what? This is a nice phone in the meantime.
I've heard rumors that Adafruit colluded with DigiKey on the new Adabox. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's the one thing everyone can agree on.
We definitely were not exonerated on the.
I got this 4-page
DigiKey.
memo, and they said, "Hey, Adafruit and DigiKey work together.
They worked together. We talked
and
behind the
analog
scenes.
devices
We
were
had
part
meetings.
of it, and everyone agreed. It brought everyone together. There's world peace. Cats and dogs are getting along. Things work
But
out.
it's working out for the best.
Yeah. Someone wants to know what happened when we press up, up, down, down, left, right, AB. We'll probably
Whatever you
do that.
want.
We'll probably do that with that. Okay. Any plans for porting OpenThread to CircuitPython?
I think we'll eventually have Thread support, but right now we're still adding Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. We're kind of focusing on that and displays. So I think Thread's a little bit down the line.
Okay. Next batch of Pi portals, we are putting some in.
Dude, we just put in-
almost every single
We
day.
put in like 100 like yesterday
Yeah, they're going
night. So
fast.
it's absolutely happening, and we're putting in more, and we have more being made. So it's like we're putting them as fast as we can. They just keep getting sold out. But
Any plans for red Charlie Flex bonnet?
maybe we have to get a better supplier of red LEDs first. So I don't know when that will be.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. As it has a touchscreen, I'm curious if the Pi Portal could be used to update CircuitPython running on another board, so you don't need a laptop or computer.
You could, but not easily. Like CircuitPython doesn't like to write to its own disk drive. What you could do is have it. You could have it tell the board to copy a file over, but it wouldn't be able to overwrite its running code, which is I think what you're trying to do. What you could do is have Pi Portal with the touchscreen, and you could select what program you want to run on that board, and it would like jump to that code.
Yeah.
So you'd like to do it as a launcher.
In CircuitPython, it plays WAV, but can
Yeah.
it play any other type of audio formats?
Right now, only WAV. There's only two formats, really, right? It's three. It's OGG, WAV, and MP3. And WAV is uncompressed, so we can play it. MP3 we'd like to add at some point, but it's a big project, so with no plans or dates on that.
Yep. All right. I think. Does DigiKey make some of the Pi Portal boards? I have one that says Adafruit, the other has DigiKey. Well, this is the way that we did it. So we have to release something before something like an Adabox, and we'd like to get some products out in the market. We also don't want to confuse people that this is part of Adabox. So the first round of Pi Portals we did just had Adafruit branding. And then over time, if you have one that says DigiKey Analog, those are ones that is with the partnership. Once we knew everything was working out, and then we could do a really big run. So we usually do a small iteration and then a bigger run. Let's see. The NRF 528040 is out of stock. Any heads up on new ones anytime soon? We're making them. I mean,
we're making them.
just sign up. Yeah,
Those are also
things are
being
going
made.
fast. And let's see. I have a Wi-Fi breakout. I tried doing firmware upgrade and it failed. Now maybe I would say post that up in the forums because that's hard to troubleshoot over Discord and on video. So
Yeah, add
forums,
screenshots.
yeah,
and
forums.adafruit.com. So if you tried to upgrade the firmware on the board, looks like product ID 3060. Post up in the forums and we'll help you out. Get going there. And I think them's the questions. Okay.
Sweet.
Want to give away something?
I do want to give away something.
We don't give away.
I think we should give away an ESPEYE.
Yeah, should.
That's because that's the
All right. That's a good thing to give away.
That's a good thing to give away.
Okay, what are the rules?
Rules are if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner on this show per my lifetime. And we want to make sure everyone has a chance to win a fabulous prize. The prize tonight will be an ESPEYE, which
Okay.
is a pretty cool board. You can do all sorts of neat stuff with this. It's ESP32 based. The first person to call the phone number when it appears on the screen and answers the magical questions, which are what's your name and where you're calling from, will win this fabulous prize. And then, all you do is email support Adafruit to pick it up. So put the phone number on the screen, dial this number,
Yeah, that's phone number. It's ohm-bit stab.
and then I'm going to pick it up, and it's going to
And
ring
this is-
twice. I'm going to
this
say
is the
ahoy,
phone.
ahoy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, what's the project you're working on or you want to work on. Answer those, and you'll get the free prize.
Yep. So let's see who gets it. Oh,
This is a cool prize, everyone. This is worth calling in for.
yeah, well, there's always a delay between the phone
You get
and the
2 megapixel camera.
screen. So we'll see who gets to it. Who?
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
So you wanted this. Okay, it's going to ring twice.
Yeah.
I'm going to say ahoy, ahoy. Okay. Ahoy, ahoy.
Oh, wow. I got through. Awesome.
Well, congratulations. Yay. You're the winner.
Yay.
What's your name, where you're calling from?
Steve Fox calling from Fort Wayne.
Okay, from Fort Wayne. Well, congratulations, Steve. You are the winner of an ESPEYE voice wake up face recognition board. It's so cool and super useful for, I don't know, some project, I'm sure. What are you working on, or what do you want to work on with either this or other stuff?
Well, right now I'm actually working on a little electronic lantern ring sound playing thing for my daughter using the Circuit Playground Express and your guys' Mini FX soundboard.
Oh, neat. Well, maybe you could add face recognition to it. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
Super neat. All right. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com and say, hey, this is Steve Wayne from Steve from Fort Wayne. And I won a product number. Let's see, which product number is this? I have to find the number on the screen. 4095. Tell them I won product number 4095. And they will hook that up and send it out to you to tweet.
All right, awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you for calling. And when you finish building your project, come by and show and tell. We'd love to see your final build.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
All right. Good night,
Thank you.
Steve. Bye.
Yep, have a nice night.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay.
That was so easy. Thanks, Steve.
All right, well, that was our show for tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be here next week. Don't forget, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time next week is Show and Tell. 8 p.m. next week, Ask an Engineer. Noah and Pedro show is on Wednesday afternoons. JP show is on Thursday.
Everyone's back.
Yeah, we'll
Everyone
have-
they're on break. They're back, and now we're all
Yeah.
back. We're doing stuff.
We'll
It's
have
action-packed.
more of everything very soon. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Don't forget, the code is ESPEYE. All the way up to 11:59 p.m.
Get 10% off these
tonight.
ESPEYEs,
Yeah.
too.
And thanks for supporting us, a loan-free, venture capital-free, independent company that's going to keep our values all the way till we go to business, and we don't have to do that if you buy stuff.
That's true.
That's pretty much it. That's the race.
Do you like us and want to see more of us?
Yeah,
Buy
pick-
something.
buy
Do you
something.
hate us and want to keep torturing us? Buy something.
Yeah.
Either way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you could just keep us around so you could.
We can't escape.
Yeah,
We're,
that's right.
You're trapped here with
That's
us.
a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that's the show. And,
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all the Adafruit team members. Oh, someone wanted to know when the unboxing for its Adabox. It is.
Good question. It's on the 10th.
yeah,
April
April 10th. Yep.
Instead of, well, we'll be here, but we'll be here cyberly.
Yeah.
JP will be visually.
Yep.
And we'll be on the Discord chats. We'll be doing the unboxing on April 10th.
All right.
So tune in.
And thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Kelly, who's in the Adafruit Slack, who helps behind the scenes.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you all the Adafruit community members, all the community helpers in Discord, all the Adafruit remote team members. Thank you, everybody who works here at Adafruit, both here and afar. Very much appreciated. Thanks for putting your smarts out there and letting the world enjoy it. It is appreciated. We will see everybody next week. Here's your moment of Xener.
Bye, everybody.